Hey Gearspace, I'm Mitch with Polyend, and today I want to show you our newest device, the Polyend Tracker Plus. It's similar to our original tracker. As far as the outside goes and the workflow, if you're familiar with the original tracker, you'll be able to dive right in with this one. However, it has a lot of new upgrades and improvements, including stereo sampling, stereo sample playback, and audio over USB. Has 14 tracks of stereo audio over USB, all new synth instruments, and more tracks. So it has 8 more MIDI tracks. But these MIDI tracks can also sequence your synthesizers. So, for example, I have 3 synth engines, and between them they can have up to 8 synth voices. So 8 voices of polyphony. The new drum machine perk is available for like 5 voices, playback at once using only 1 voice of polyphony. So I can still have the perk, and then I can have 5 voices on this synth I have here, which is nice. And then I have 2 drum machines in here. So the way the perk works is it has a kick, which is C5, and then a snare. I can't hear the hi-hats, but they're there. And then it has a cymbal and a clap perk engine. I'll show you in the editor. There's a deep editor that can change all these things. So there's my kick, my tom, snare. Perk can be like a clap, a cowbell, maracas, a shaker, all kinds of options to create a pattern. I'll just try to create a drum beat as fast as I can. That's just a kick, and I'll add a snare. And then I'll add some hi-hats. And that's okay. And then I can modulate. I can either go into the instrument parameters and kind of change all the different parameters for the perk machine here. Like there's experiment, which usually gets kind of weird. And then I can kind of play around with these and get a lot of different tones, or I can sequence them as well. So it sequences all 6 of those macros via, with 2 effect slots, but you can put multiple macros in effect slots. So for example, I'll take macro 2, and I'll just kind of create something in there. And then macro 3, and then I could add a synth instrument here. S2 is the synth I'm using. It's the perk drum machine. And then macro 4. And then I could create some kind of cool automation in here. And it's super customizable. So if I go into the patch editor, I can take the kick. I've got this kind of, I can change the body, the wave, there's all kinds of different options to get different sounds. And then I'll go to the tom. I'm just making, and all of these things, all of these parameters I'm changing now can actually be sequenced in the macros. So you can have up to 5 macros. Oh, I'm sorry for that laser. You can have up to 5 macros per multi-macro. So like M2 could do 5 different things. And so everything I can change in the editor here is assignable to a macro. So there's a mixer with all the volume, the panning, the levels. Effects have an EQ. There's a lot of different wave shapes. You can do bit crushing and overdrive and saturation. The symbol's pretty neat. It's like, it's got a body filter, an impact filter, and decay. It's I can't really hear it, it's so loud in here, but yeah, it's cool. And then you can take, I'll add one more synth engine here. You can also resample the synth engines into it. So this pattern I could take and resample it. But I'll just, I forgot I had that laser. I'll just change the solution to that would just be to change the patch. There we go. And hey, I like this patch better anyway. So I could do, the synth engines can also do chords. So I could add like a chord right here, a MIDI chord. Let's see. And then I can kind of edit the macros on this this synth engine as well. You know, open up the filter. And then I haven't even added any samples, so I could, if I wanted, I'll turn that down just a little bit. I could add samples too. So, I'm just gonna add I think I've chopped this one up. No, sample playback. So I've chopped this sample up, which you can do really easily and quickly. And then you can auto slice it, so I've already done it. But I have, you know, all these different slices I can play back just by, oh. So I'm gonna do there's also like in-depth fill modes, but what I really wanna show here is like, I can fill every note. I want a random slice, so I don't know what it'll give me, but this random, let's see how many slices I have. I have 8 slices. So if I go to fill random slice, 8 slices, I gotta select them all. There. And now I have that kind of, I'll mute the other. And I can keep adding. That's where. I could keep adding slices here. Anyway, that covers the general kind of workflow. There's also a lot of other things you can do. It's really deep and fun and fast to make music easy, I think, once you get the workflow. And, you know, people can be intimidated by the top-down spreadsheet nature of it, but the advantage is you always know what it's doing at any time. I can look at it, I can look at a pattern, and I can see that it's playing C5 on instrument 1, and I'm playing slice 1, so I'm playing that first slice. And then I can do that for all my tracks. And I know what all these are doing too, because I understand what the macros mean. So yeah, that pretty much covers it. And yeah, thank you guys for checking out the Tracker Plus.